Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video, I'm planning to be filming over the course of 2 to 3 days. It's Monday. I think I'm going to be filming definitely today, and tomorrow, and possibly Thursday. We'll probably end it there just because I think it's a pretty planty week. And I think it would be nice to take you along with me. So I've been, just as a bit of a background, I've been very, I don't know what it is, but I've got right now just this insatiable urge to clean, to tidy, to purge, to get to projects that I've been putting off for a long time. Some of them pertain to the plant room. And also tomorrow, me, Amanda, and Charmaine are having like a FaceTime call. I'm hoping this keeps getting rescheduled, so I'm hoping it actually happens. But the idea is that the three of us would get together once a month to kind of chit chat, show each other plants, kind of talk about what's going on in the plant community, and basically just like connect more or less like a real hangout. Even though it's virtual, but we want to make sure that we're like putting the effort into our friendships. So that's happening tomorrow. I have a ton of chopping to do, and I have an area in my plant room. I'm pointing to it right now. This corner of my plant room you guys never see. It has a small exo, a shelf. I'm gonna show you in a second. There is a monster growing in that exo that I just need to take it back to like almost nothing and let it restart again because it's a lot. And I want to transform the shelf, like transform the shelf into like a propagation area. So the shelves I want to move slightly so I can rig some lights onto it and use it as like an area where I germinate seeds, grow seedlings, root cuttings, things like that. And they're kind of ugly, so it's kind of like off into the corner. And like here I want to ideally not keep props at all and just be like my personal plants that I'm growing. Here's my thought process. I always have kind of props going for sale purposes, and I don't have to scramble to get things together like a week before sale and things aren't ready. So I always want to have things kind of rooting and growing. So whenever Lauren has a live sale, which is going to be this Friday, but she wants to do one every other Friday. So I think that it would be nice to just have like a constant, you know, revolving door of plants. And live sales, I think, have really taken off in the last year. So she wants to do it every other week and not be so big and just be more of a hangout, because I think it's been so nice to have live sales with Lauren, not only because like I get to actually like sell my propagations, but because it's been nice to be able to connect to some of you guys on Instagram that I wouldn't otherwise be like conversing with. We're just like chatting in the chat. My boyfriend just got home. I'm just gonna close the door. So my hope is that like today we'll take some cuttings. Tomorrow we'll have like chit chat and maybe like just some potting while I like chat with Charmaine and Amanda, and I'll maybe film a little bit during the call. And then near to the end of the week, I'm gonna show you all the plants that I'm gonna be bringing to NST to sell, just kind of like recap. And then hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have like a very tidy plant room. So one thing I've been doing around the rest of my house, which I haven't filmed, but I've been just like kind of taking everything out of its space, whatever it lives in, and just like cleaning and putting it back. But in that process, getting rid of the things I don't want to keep anymore. I have like 4 huge things of donations that are going to get picked up tomorrow. So it's been very cathartic. By the end of this video, I'm hoping to show you some transformations, like mini transformations. It's not going to be a total makeover because it's not so bad in here. I purposely didn't tidy up because I wanted you guys to see the plant room as it is, like this little table that I put my mother lights on, just because I wanted to keep it vertical, but I didn't want it sitting on the floor. This often becomes like my little holding area for crap that like I just want to put down somewhere. But really quick, just as a quick update, as it relates to plant chores, I did this off camera last night, but do you remember, I don't know if you watched this video, there was a video, don't know how long ago it was, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, where I germinated berries that came off of my crystal meg. It's this big guy right here. I'll pop it in the thumbnail right now so you know what I'm talking about. I wanted to give you guys an update because I figured some of you might have been curious as to like how those seeds turned out. So if you'll recall in that video, that infructescence, it was full of berries, but not all of them were ripe. And I was not willing to spend multiple days harvesting berries just because like it wasn't a hybrid that I was like very emotionally invested in. It was really just like this inflow was receptive. This one had pollen. I was on my way to work. I just pulled the pollen off of one and then just like rubbed it on the other. And it was like a very not thought through thing. Like it wasn't a hybrid that I was like planning. Some of those berries weren't ready to be picked yet. Usually people will recommend that you only harvest the berry when it's like almost falling off. So it just comes off with like the slightest touch, but before it starts to turn brown and rot, if that makes sense. So that window in between. And some of the berries I was like picking off, like imagine the force that it takes to pull a kernel off the corn cob. Maybe a little bit less than that, but like it was forcefully removing. And I just like sprinkled them all over tree fern, closed the container, so it was like in a Tupperware container like this. And I will say the germination rate was extremely low. I would say maybe it was like 25% germination rate. So a lot of seeds just never germinated, or by yesterday, a lot of them were just starting to germinate, which I just threw those out. Like they weren't going to be good plants. So I have a few more that haven't been potted up, but I potted up a few here. So here's like a dozen, and I isolated the biggest one. This one is showing the most silver. Kayla, if you are in our Discord, Kayla is our moderator. So she got a batch. I think I released like sets of like 8, one live sale. And those were like the strongest ones because they were ready the soonest. She has them in this like 3D printed self-watering seedling starter container. And she's been sending or tagging me in stories with those seedlings, and they are like so silver, like just like the whole leaf bladed silver. It's very cute. So I'm holding out hope that one of these might be variegated. Funny thing, Lauren selved one of her forgetti-eyes, and she has this like batch of forgetti-eye seedlings growing, and some of them are getting quite big. And it wasn't until like maybe like the 6th or 8th leaf that they just spontaneously became variegated. Like some of them are so variegated. I'm gonna throw in the photo of the one that's like the most variegated, and like it has such a strange variegation because it's like tricolored, but it has like it's like on the margin, so it looks to me like Hoya variegation. Like Hoya incrusata variegated is how I would compare this. Like I'll just do a side-by-side comparison of them. I'm thinking in particular of Jing's incrusata. So where was I going with all that? Don't remember. Oh yeah, so the update I wanted to give you is that the advice to wait until the berries are almost falling off ripe is sound. But this is the kind of stuff that I want to be growing on that shelf, which I'm going to pick you up right now and show you. Okay, so just so you know the orientation, this is the corner that you always see. Here's my tent. And here's that corner. I haven't really done anything to it to tidy up. This is how it looks. This is what I stare at every day when I'm filming. You guys see a much nicer background than I do. So here is the exo. Here is the monster. My Diascorea discolor is out of freaking control. It's grown through the mesh. It's up here. Can you see? Can you see where it's gone through? It's going to have to be chopped back so much. And I think what I'm gonna do, because like this is too much for me, it's too intense. So I'm going to chop it back, and I don't know how many times I'm gonna chop it back before I decide I'm good. I've had my run with this plant and just sell it. Part of the problem is that it shades everything else. So I wanna get some of these plants like just better light conditions. Like this plant down here, this is my Scott Morianum 69686 hybrid from Amanda, and it is tiny, but look, it gets like no light. If I just back you up here, it's just in the dark. And then I have like, look at this. I'm gonna have to zoom you in. My Burley Marks Fantasy is freaking beautiful. I wanna chop it because it's grown right off the pole. I potted this up about a year ago, and it's been living in that corner, just growing so nicely and so prettily and living off of pure neglect, and I feel really bad. So I want to take the top cutting off and maybe start a new one. I don't know, maybe I'll sell the bottom. Back here is my Ficus villosa. I don't really have room to put the camera into the EXO, but you can see it's on a pole and it's gone sideways. I want to propagate that as well. If we have time this week, I will repot this guy. This is my Anthurium Chia Pazens crossed with Vera Pazens from Amanda. It's growing in pond. It's so easy going. It's not even funny. So yeah, I think the first step is to get this removed from the EXO and just start hacking away. Okay, so I've removed the Diascorea, and I should have saw this coming, but it had wrapped itself around another plant, so it came with. You might be wondering what this plant is. It is my Aglaonema pictum tricolor. I don't know if you guys even know I have this plant. This is one of those plants where I feel a lot of, I feel I have a really hard time getting rid of it. Oh my gosh, don't break that new leaf. Don't break it. Okay, this is one of the plants where my boyfriend was actually, you know what? I'm just gonna chop it. Why am I even being so careful? My boyfriend was really interested in this plant because it's the camouflage plant. And I got it from Jing 2020, maybe? And this is how it goes all the time. There are like so many people that post like advice comments on Facebook, or like, you know, like Instagram photos with like their care, and like they're able to grow like really nice bushy tricolors. I've heard such conflicting care advice on it, like keep it in a dark place, it doesn't like too much light, give it lots of light, let it dry out, don't ever let it dry out. I feel like it probably, because it's an understory plant, or like it's terrestrial, I would guess that it doesn't like to dry out because the ground is less likely to dry out versus the canopy. But I have a really hard time letting go of this because I feel like we have unfinished business, and I feel like I still really want to see like multiple camouflage leaves on this plant. So I'm not giving up on this. This might actually be a good tree fern soil candidate, but just so you guys can see what we're working with. That's not for today. I'm not doing any repotting today, just chopping. Here's my, oh my gosh. If you guys knew how long I've been putting this off, and Charmaine came over with her mom when her mom was visiting, like, was it September? And then she looked at my ex and was like, dude, like you need to take care of that. And that was like 2 months ago. It's happily rooted in this vessel, and it's on 2 trellises, which is not sufficient at the moment. So what I want to do, okay, so look at this mass, that all has to go. And I want to start over with like that. That's it. That's all I want. The color on the leaves have gotten a lot paler over time. And I don't know if it's because like the plant is so big that it's like nutritional requirements are so great now. Yeah, I'm just gonna start hacking away. I'm just trying to get my bearings here because I can see that there's like a lot of rotted leaf and rotted vine. Stuff like this where it got underwatered. And I'm just throwing it on the floor because I'll clean up later. But I'm just trying to see if I chop it back, what am I gonna be left with? I honestly want to err on the side of less with this plant just because it grows so freaking fast. I'm just removing leaves like that. I mean, this kind of shows you why this plant is invasive and you can't export this to the States, because it branches and stuff like that. So if I removed all of this, then I'm left with quite a bare plant, but we're just gonna do it. Okay, we'll deal with you in a second. If I just situate you like this, nope, that doesn't look good. Let's see what we can do here. This leaf looks nice. I just don't know what I'm gonna do the next time it gets kind of out of control again. Like, you guys know how I feel about plants that grow too fast. And this is like fast on another level. This was definitely one of the projects that I've been putting off for probably like 3 or 4 months. And part of like, I don't know. I don't know for sure how my brain works, but just as an FYI to catch you guys up on my life, CBC reached out and asked if I wanted to be part of that series that houseplanted series. I was pretty surprised that they reached out to me because my channel is so small, but they reached out and asked if I wanted to be a part of the episodes, and that they would be filming like in November, so this month, or like early December. In the end, I decided to turn them down because like my work schedule is going to be crazy intense, like right near to the end of this month, and then beginning of December and Christmas time is always so crazy for me. But my initial reaction to being asked was like a lot of fear, and I don't really know what it was. Like I just was like, my house is not fit for people to be in, let alone a film crew. It's just how I feel, and I always put off being on YouTube because of that, because I was like, my house is not nice enough. And a lot of that was because of just so much neglect. Because I was so busy for so many years, ever since we moved in, we were just like we had no spare time. We barely had money for the day-to-day, let alone like buying furniture and doing like home improvement projects. So even though I've been kind of like chipping away at the house like bit by bit over the last year, I'm still not at a place where I feel like super proud of like letting someone into my space. So in the end, I ended up turning them down, but I did get that spurt of energy to get it to, it's for me more than anything, to get it to where I feel good about being here. I don't need to show everybody on YouTube. Like you guys, you never see my living room or my kitchen, barely. But yeah, that's my story. Okay, so this is done. I can't tell you how relieved that this is done. Since I'm gonna be at the shop on Friday for the live sale, what if I put this in like a freezer bag with moss inside? As just like a fun little propagation project. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Big freezer bag, moss at the bottom, close it. It'll start rooting on its own. Yep, I don't want to deal with that. I don't know why I never show this plant, but this is a philodendron that I think is just so pretty. And it also has Dioscorea vine wrapped around it. I've always had this dream of growing, you know, what was the company that been selling these in the States? Steve's Leaves, maybe? The leaves are like this big and they look just like this. It's so pretty. It's got that like blue, almost like pixelated and printed, and it's so pretty. And I always forget I even have this plant, but when I look into the Excel, I'm like, oh, sweet baby. I really like this philo. Do you see like there's all these like healthy aerial roots? They're like super fuzzy. I think this would be a great candidate to chop it here. I don't know if you can see, I'm just chopping it down here. Get this onto a pole, start that for 2024. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I find like, even though this will technically be a bottom cutting, there's two plants in here. There's one is here and one is here that I just chopped off. So I think I could sell this whole thing. As long as it's on a pole, my experience with this plant is that like, even though you chop the top off, it comes back in size like within 2 leaves. So I wouldn't even consider this being a bottom cutting, or like one of the 2 plants being a bottom cutting would be a super big disadvantage. I will bring this to the live sale and we're gonna say like one's the top, one's the bottom. And I know for some people, getting it to like not be a runner with like teeny tiny 1 centimeter leaves is one of the big challenges. So this one's kind of already like set up to be sizing up. But again, I don't know if anyone is even looking for this plant. Not a bad plant to sell. It's in tree fern with a tree fern pole as well. And I'm gonna pop this into my water rooting container and just let it like hydrate for the next couple of days. Not that it's dehydrated, but we'll pot this up later in the week. This is my cup of cuttings from a couple of weeks ago. It was like in my growth updates video where I chopped up my Florida Beauty and my hetero, and some of these are starting to root. And luckily this Florida Beauty is actually rooting down here as well. So it is working. I think so many plants being in the same container is helpful because as they're releasing these hormones, they're all benefiting from it. Even the Heterocraspidon, which I find really hard to propagate, does have an active root, which I'm actually a little bit surprised. It's only been like 2 weeks. I fully expected this plant to take like 3 months to root. So I'm just gonna pop this one in here. Try not to put the leaf in. Okay, who's next? Ficus villosa. Okay, so this plant, I find it quite easygoing to a certain extent. It does grow pretty fast. I've chopped the top off for Charmaine beginning of the summer and like all this grew, but my intention was to chop it back here and then get it onto a pole or like extend the pole, and then I just never got around to it. So what I'm gonna do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to root it and or like propagate it to sell. Oh, this is actually one plant with a branch, and there's like a bunch of aerial roots. If you can see, they're very fine. So I think this will be a really easy to root process. I don't want these little aerial roots to dry out because this is like I don't know if you can see how thin these leaves are. They're like crepey paper thin. So I think what I'm gonna do is take my cuttings now and just put them all into a container with some moss. This way they will, like the roots will stay hydrated until we need to pot them up. Today was like such a chill Monday. I feel like somebody would want this, right? It's so cute. And it's like nice to have a shingler that is not going to like grow really annoyingly if it doesn't shingle. Because you can see like all of this that grew off of the pole, it didn't go super gangly and like super runny, leggy. I think I was in the middle of a train of thought, but I totally forgot what I was talking about. I know Charmaine's cutting that I made for her didn't survive. I don't know if she wants to even start over. I don't think so. But in any case, I have like this mother plant that will not stop growing. So I don't think, yeah, I think she'll tell me when she's ready for another one. Maybe Jing wants one. Maybe Lauren wants one. I know she likes weird little hairy plants sometimes, but I feel like if she wanted one, she would have one by now. Okay, yeah, so here are my cuttings. These feel like hairy mint leaves. That's what they feel like. Where do I put you for now? Over here. All right, so the next thing is I just need to take all these plants out, and there's no good place to set you down, so I'm gonna be like holding you. Sorry if it's shaky, but I'm gonna just take all the plants out and we're gonna clean it up. And something I wanna do with this shelf, so basically I have a Barina light up here. I want to put that Barina light here for props and seedlings and stuff. And then I want to put one of my mother lights up here. So I'll just swing you around here. You can see two mother lights. I have the tall one that's 32 watts and then the shorter one that's 16 watts. I want to put the short one on that EXO, and I have another 32 watt bar that I'm going to put here pointed that way. I've been finding, and I've gotten a few comments about this as well, about the mother lights, that they, first of all, they make anthuriums flower. It's like the flowering light, and also it makes dark leaves like very black. And this is like one of the reasons why I felt like more light was contributing to more blacks in my anthuriums. But these ones were not this dark before getting mother light. So since I have like a mother light just like sitting there not doing anything, I think it'd be good to have that little one lighting this little EXO. This is my good old bottle of Pine Sol. It's like my favorite all-purpose cleaner. It actually does glass quite well, and I just, oh my gosh, I love the smell. It's not so dirty that I would need to use a scraper. It's mainly just water. Oh my gosh, there's so much water down here. What the heck? Okay, I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me clean this, so I'm going to put you down for now. Okay, the EXO is clean now, and I just like popped the plants back in that were living in here that I'm not like getting rid of. That's not how we're gonna leave it though, but that's where we're gonna leave it for today. And just to recap, down here, I want to add that Barina light here. I want to maybe put a dome or something here for props. This Gloriosum will have to find somewhere else to live, and then like I'll probably move this bottom shelf up a little bit, so maybe I could have a second level at some point. But it's been kind of helpful to have this for like bins, like short bins that I use like very seldomly. I'll bring plants like these ones, I'll bring plants to the shop in them sometimes, but the shallower ones fit quite nicely here. So I'm gonna like kind of clean up around here. We're gonna pick this back up tomorrow. But yeah, part of like sprucing up the plant room, a part of this like plant room mini spruce up is because I'm due for like my 2023, is it 2023? What year is it? Yeah, it's 2023, it's not 2024. My 2023 plant room tour, which it's been a full year since my last one. And it's always like so invigorating to have like things move around. I love walking into a room where like things look different to before. So I've done this whole thing with my downstairs plant shelves. Like I moved everything off, like I mentioned a few weeks ago, where I like only went there to wipe down the shelves and everything started being repot, and like I got rid of some plants, and it's been so like, it's given me so much life. Oh, I just saw a plant I want to cut. One second. This is my Philodendron El Guapo, or SP Columbia, which I imported from Equigenera. No, Tropicals. It was Tropicals. This was 2022, last year, around springtime. So this one is the one with like much tighter veins. And I freaking fell in love with it at first sight, although it has been very neglected. And I put it on a pole and immediately it started to crawl. It was climbing up until here, pole, crawl. But I really like this leaf. I'm not ready to let go of this plant yet. I'm halfway there. I have another Philodendron SP Columbia downstairs, which was a gift from my boyfriend for one birthday. This was one that I imported myself, and they look distinct enough. So I think we're going to, obviously it doesn't want the pole. It's like, I have no use for you. I'm gonna go around the back where there's no moss. So what I'd like to do actually is take the top off and water root it, and then get it into like a crawling pot maybe. And if I get sick of it, then we will sell her. It actually rooted into the pole a little bit, so we have something to work with right here. Yeah, this one has been like so easygoing. It's been living next to that window that I just showed you on almost no light. It's probably getting like 20-foot candles of light, and look how beautiful it's growing. Not big, but like nice growth. So it's gonna go in that water swamp. What I will do with this one is beyond me. I might chop it into single nodes and kind of grow little baby plants out of it, just because like it does look different. This one has a lot of EFN damage, but it does look different to a lot of the El Guapos or SP Columbias that are being sold, with just like much more pillowy texture. This one is just a lot more ribby looking. I don't know. Somehow I've lost all my energy in the last 1 hour that we've been filming, and I know exactly why. It's because I am freaking starving. Okay, that's it for me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. So it's the very next day. Welcome to my personal hell. I am sitting surrounded by plants. I've been doing a lot of like cleaning and tidying and sorting all day long and stuff behind the scenes, but right now we're at that stage of decluttering and purging that it's like very messy, and I just need to power through to get to the other side. And by Friday, we're gonna be good, because Friday is when the live sale is happening and all these plants are getting out of my house. So slight change of plans. We were gonna repot some things today, but then I completely forgot that I'm out of tree fern. I had ordered a like giant 40-liter bag of tree fern that was supposed to arrive today, but I just checked the tracking and it says delayed due to severe weather. So I don't know when it's gonna come, but I don't want to repot anything into like just straight soil. There are some things that can go into pond, but I wanted to root out a little bit more in water. So we're just like not gonna do that until the tree fern comes. I might even just do that off camera, to be honest. So it's a bit of a change of plans. I'm just killing a bit of time before the FaceTime with Charmaine and Amanda. So I would like to sort, like I brought all the plants, or most of the plants. I've gathered a lot of plants that I'm planning to sell, and I need to sort them. Like they make sense in my mind, but I need to sort them so that I can like code the things that are ready for sale. So that's one box. Like these are just going on the live sale. There's a whole bunch of things that are propped and potted, but need time to root a little bit more. So that needs to be in a separate container that might live at the shop for a little bit, for 2 weeks before the next live sale. And then a separate container of like mother plants. So it's things like the SP Columbia, this one, the one with like the very tight venation. I took the top cutting off yesterday and I just don't need to keep this bottom. So I asked Lauren if she wanted to have some like mother plants to cut from. And I know she doesn't have one with like the tight veins. She has like a ton. I spent almost an entire day last week going through a bin of SP Columbias and like just chopping them up and taking top cuttings and like just repotting them and just like creating mother plants. So I think like there's things like this that she could use in her shop. And because I have the top cutting, I don't even want the bottom anymore. So I'm not taking any money for this and just like giving it to her, because it's gonna cost her like time and energy to prop them back down. It might actually just be me doing it one day at the shop. And I've done some work behind the scenes on that little corner exo and the shelf. So I'm gonna show you that. And then I'm just gonna like sort through these bins of plants for sale, and I'll show you what I'm gonna bring to the shop. So that little mother light is now on that exo. It is a different color temperature. It's a lot more like daylight white than the Barina, which I moved down here. And then I have a little dome, because in theory I could have props here that just are out in ambient conditions, but this shelf sits right above a heater. You can see it like the floor vent right there. So it's gonna be quite dry for them. So now all I need to do is sort through these plants and pot them the way I want them to live, and decide whether I want this to be like another little display exo, or because it's kind of like out of sight, it could be like a rehab exo. So plants that are kind of ugly and need some time to grow a nice new leaf that I don't want to look at, but I also don't want to get rid of, could live in here. And I can just have this area be the plants that I'm like happy to look at and are doing well and thriving. I haven't really super decided. But it definitely could be a propagation exo. I'm actually leaning more towards that, because as I'm purging, I'm finding that I'm not lacking for space anymore. The only place that I'm lacking for space is inside my tent. And then down here is where I can put seedlings. So when I harvest seeds from my next few inflow batches, I can go in there. And then down here, I just have this little short bin, just like garbage from the plant room, like not garbage, but things that I need to like take downstairs and like clean out and recycle, like the tree fern I need to like sanitize and like put back into my mix. And then I have some deli cups and saucers there. This might not be like this forever, but the dome definitely will be like that for a while. I just realized I don't have a bin prepared for the mother plants, so that's fine. I'll find another one. So I've been trying to get my friends' opinions on whether I should do this or not. So this is my mother plant. This is my only one left of my yellow variegated monstera. I'm just holding the plant so it doesn't spill everywhere. So this is like a large form yellow variegated monstera that was sold as Thai Constellation locally here. So we call it Devon's Thai here in Vancouver, but nobody knows what we mean if you're outside of Vancouver. I chopped it. I forget if I did this on camera. I don't think I did, but I chopped it a while ago. It's been rooting in leca and it's super rooty now. I've had this plant since 2020 and I've chopped it a few times. I just don't think that monsteras are like my kind of genus, because I'm just not very good at it. I've never been able to grow a monstera very big, with the exception of my large green form monstera. I need to show you guys that one day soon, because it's freaking massive now and it needs a huge repot. I think I'm happy with just keeping that and my elbow. So I think I'm gonna bring this to the sale. And I know there are some people in the States that have been asking for this. There are some like mid and bottom cuts rooting at the shop, but they haven't popped growth yet. And I don't wanna sell them until it pushes leaves that show variegation, because it's not a stable variegated monstera. I was like, should I keep that one and just sell my Thai Constellation? So this is my Thai Constellation that has needed a repot for so long, and I just haven't cared enough to prioritize it. So it's been living in my my guest bedroom where I edit, where my big monstera lives, and it's been in this deli cup. So this doing the thing that Thai Constellations do, right? So it has like rotted roots living in harmony with really healthy, juicy roots. And I've never felt the need to unpot it and treat for the root rot, because it doesn't seem to negatively affect the health of the plant. I think the only thing that is affecting it negatively is it being so root bound. So I just, at one point I took the aerial roots and just like coiled it in here. So this potting situation is very messy, but at the same time, I asked Lauren, like, should we leave it? She says like she would rather not take it out because it could rot more, and this is way easier to ship. So we're gonna just sell it with like disclosing obviously the root situation, which I honestly think that is like almost always the case with Thais. It's like so rare to find like no rot on the Thais, and you can see that it doesn't, it's super like firm, healthy. This is from a bit of underwatering, I think maybe like earlier in the year. This is like, it's quite old. This is the second oldest leaf on the plant. So I was asking Charmaine and Lauren, like, should I sell both of them, keep one of them, keep both of them? They both said that I should just sell them both, because if I'm even asking that question, that means like I'm not really in love with these plants. And it's true, I really am not. So they're both going in the sale bin. This is not for sale. This is my last Scindapsus that I'm getting rid of. I don't want Scindapsus in my home anymore. This is just an exotica. I repotted it out of the glass vessel that it was in into like a deli cup, and I'm just gonna pop it into the shop as a freebie. I don't wanna like, cause it's so big and traily, I don't want Lauren to have to ship this, so I just want this to be like a pleasant surprise for anyone who might walk into the shop and be like, oh, a trailing plant, and see that it's free and just walk away with it. I don't know, it's like, this is probably one of my favorite Scindapsus. This is definitely the one that made me fall in love with Scindapsus in the first place. And I can clearly remember the first one that really piqued my interest, and it was on Plantarina, and she has like really pretty ones. And I will say, of all the Scindapsus, this one is the one that I've been able to kind of grow okay without looking like just a pile of runners. But the growth pattern in general it just frustrates me too much, so I don't want to keep any in my house anymore. I'm completely done with Scindapsus. I will admire them from afar. I have a couple of, okay, so my Monstera Esqueleto, I've been growing it in my living room, and it had outgrown its moss pole, and it grew a set of nice leaves, which are actually downstairs. They're rooting in water, so I don't have them here with me, but they're like nicely fenestrated large leaves, and then it just started running after that, which was like, I think I've had my fill of Esqueleto. I grew it from a single leafless node, and I grew it to somewhat maturity, and I really loved it, but I think that like we run our course. So I chopped it down to a few cuttings. These ones are rooted. It's a toss-up. I could sell them in the live sale for super cheap because they haven't pushed their axillary buds yet. Same with this one. This one, actually no, I'm not selling this one. This one has to grow new leaves because this is so pitiful looking. This one, no, this one probably has to grow new leaves too. Maybe this will just be like donation stock for Lauren. This is a cutting that's higher up, which only had a few roots that had grown into the moss pole. This one maybe, but it is yellowing a little bit from underwatering, but maybe. I'm not 100% sure yet, so I'm gonna put this probably in the pile of like things that need a little bit more time. Here's a plant you guys don't know I have. This is a rickrack cactus. I bought this from Stella Voix in Montreal one summer, and I just was completely in love with it. So it's not the same as fishbone cactus where it's like squiggly and round. It's like really, really hard and just more jaggedy. And I honestly feel like they've messed up the naming. Like this one should be fishbone and the other one should be rickrack, but this one is so beautiful, but without the right light you get growth like this, right? Kind of like some orchid cactuses, orchid cacti, where if you don't give it enough light it just like grows this and it never fenestrates. It never has those like pennations that come out. I don't know what it's called with succulents, but I have three plants which are rooted. They were in pon, and I just like separated them into separate cups. And I am so excited to get this out of my life because I know I can't give this plant the light levels that it needs to really be happy. But it does look really cool on a shelf if you do have that sun. So maybe if someone had like a shelf with like southern exposure or something. These are little props of Begonia malacostricta. I had a kind of a long cane of it growing, and I think I've decided I only want to grow Begonia labersii. Maybe I might dabble in other begonias in the future, but this one I think was also a gift, like a little cutting. Jing gave this to me like maybe a year and a half ago, and I've grown it, I've chopped it a few times, and I think we run our course. So it's like a very cute begonia with like metallic pink spots. And the texture is not like super glossy. I wouldn't say velvety, more like between glossy and silicone-y. So I have a few of those that are gonna go into needs a bit more time because it needs to root. Some of them are actually much perkier than others, like this one, for example. It's looking like it's probably starting to root in this moss. Okay, so my Hoya cabinet. I did not do this on camera. I actually did this yesterday morning, just as soon as I got up, I had my coffee, I did the dog's chores and stuff, and I just went to work on my Hoyas. I thought they needed water, so I opened the cabinet and I just started pulling things out. And if you will recall in the past, my Hoya cabinet was such a mess of vines, and there was like this huge like canopy of vines from different plants that kind of converged in the middle, and there were all these peduncles everywhere, and they were growing like in between my lights, like between the light and the top of the cabinet. They were like pulling some of my hooks that were holding cords in place apart. So I just went in and hacked it all back, and I took out a whole bunch of Hoyas to sell. And some Hoyas I took the top off to root for myself, and I'm just gonna sell the mother plant. So it's like fully rooted. So one of them is my Hoya SP Germany, which I really like. So this is one of the Hoyas that I still wanna keep. I just think it's such a cool kind of dumpstery Hoya. It's more reptilian than dumpstery. I don't think this one reads dumpster. It's very, very pretty, and it's actually quite an easy one and a pretty reliable grower. So I hope that somebody wants this one. This is a plant that I got from Jing. Charmaine didn't know I had it, so that I gave it to her, and then she gave me back a cutting. So this is Hoya Thomsonii with pink flowers. I think there are multiple Thomsonii. So this one has pink flowers. It's fuzzy. It's very cute, but I just, you know, I'm fine. I don't need it. I think I've kind of curated my Hoya cabinet right now to be mainly dumpstery Hoyas. So I'm gonna sell this one. It's in tree fern. This is my mother Hoya CB Joy with Splash. So this one is from Jing. I really love this Hoya. I think, which one was the original leaf? It might be gone. Or it might be this one. This might have been the original leaf I got, or the first one that grew in my care. And then for a long time it was kind of reverted. So it was growing low splash. So I experimented with like either growing it in lower light or growing it in higher light, and nothing really seemed to work. So I'm gonna just sell the whole thing as is. I put out a little Instagram story, or like I re-shared Lauren's story announcing the live sale, and I asked if people have any specific requests. One request was for my dark forgetty eye. So this is like what I like to call like almost dark. This is my forgetty eye with almost no silver. It's got the most skinniest pinstripe silver with a true dark form. So what you end up with is like something that's almost fully dark. And this one's like, I kind of want to grow another leaf, but then I want to clear the space a little bit more. And it does look cute. It's just got some mechanical damage on it, and it's like very well rooted in pond. As you can see, I just think this is so cute. This is one of my holdbacks from that batch. Not that it's like needs holdbacks, but I do have like a bigger one that was probably the most robust grower. And I actually took some propagations from this seed batch because like they were growing so tall. Like these forgetty eyes have like really long stems. So I think this one can be for sale. I definitely think that people are loving forgetty eyes. There was like a moment where people were just like, they did not care about forgetty eye at all. And I'm really happy to see that it's back. Some of you might be surprised by this, but I'm going to sell my Philodendron Summer Glory. This is her. Here's my thought process, okay? Hear me out. When philodendrons get really big, it upsets me pretty badly. And that's when I start to fall out of love with them. And then I start to neglect them, and then they start to decline. We're not there yet with this one because it's still a very cute size. Look at this pink leaf. That glare is not helping, but can we get it? Not really. Maybe from back here you can see like how bronzy pink that is, and it's so cute. So I've decided I'm going to let go of it before I really can't stand it anymore, because I know we're gonna get there. I've been learning that about myself. I almost feel like there's very few exceptions, and it's almost like the perfect size to sell it at, because it's like ready to get big and it's ready to like crawl out of this pot, but it's still quite a small pot for shipping. So we're saying goodbye to Summer Glory. This one actually needs water. Just water you before we put you away. Okay, so another change in plans. Charmaine and Amanda are both not feeling well, so they're like, can we reschedule to tomorrow? But I asked Amanda to just say hi to you guys 1 second.
Sorry. Sherm and I are being Debbie Downers. You have proof. I'm pinky promising that we could do it tomorrow.
Okay, so we have lots of time now, so I can keep sorting these plants with you guys, because what I like to do by the end of today is have them really like categorized, so then I can start printing labels and compiling my list, because what I have to do for Lauren is like give her a list of plants. So if you guys ever watch the live sales, there's like codes for the plants. So like her plants are usually just a number, like code 12, but then codes with a letter in front of them usually mean something else, like C whatever is Charmaine, A whatever is mine, J could be Jesse, could be Jose. So that's like the administrative behind the scenes work I have to do later, but I just need to like categorize it so it's way easier for me to like start looking at them and listing them, writing them down. Okay, so back to sorting. Another request that I had in that Instagram story was more Ripsalis. This one actually also needs water. Let me water her real quick. This is my Ripsalis salicornioides from Charmaine. She cut this for me whenever she got the plant. Like she got this massive plant that was like living outside in some giant backyard jungle. This one has been living on that windowsill for the last, maybe since I got it. I thought about putting it on my living room shelf where my Paradoxa lives, where my Capilliformis lives. What else do I have there? Paradoxa minor. What's the other one called? Micrantha? Something like that. This one, I just never felt like it would quite fit in there. I don't know. I think that I don't love it as much as the other ones. So this one's going to be for sale. It's already fully rooted in soil. I just watered it. So I'm going to let it kind of soak up the water. And then I'm going to put it into the like ready for sale bin. The Burley Marks Fantasy. I've been hemming and hawing over this since yesterday. And I'm like, should I not? But honestly, because I never really look at it that much. I'm not getting rid of this plant entirely. I still have that top cutting. I was like, should I keep the bottom and sell the top? But I think I can let go of this one and just start over again, because I don't like fixate on this plant very much, but I do have like quite a deep fondness for it. I'm not getting rid of it for my collection. Yep, it's happening. The sorting is happening. This feels so good, you have no idea. Sorry, I had my Ring camera on because I was waiting for a pickup, like my donations pickup. So I need to know when they come to grab all the stuff off my porch. This right here is a little pile of pond because I kicked one of the plants over. Okay, we're making progress. We're making progress. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Back here are a few plants that just need some attention. So this is my Gloriosum, which is, Charmaine calls this the Angry Alice Gloriosum because it has like a very aggressive looking leaf. It always looks a little bit angry. I had chopped the top off. I think I sold that months ago, and then it's been living on that shelf that you saw earlier. And this one needs to be in a bigger pot and just kind of maybe restarted. I have a mind to just like note it and start back from like a sprouted chunk and just grow it in a prop box or something. Just because like I don't have the space right now for Gloriosum, but that Gloriosum is quite special to me and I don't want to like let go of it entirely. And then I kind of want to do the same to this Jose Bonos that I chopped up in a recent video. I took the top off and I took a mid cut and I sold that, and I gave one to Kayla, our Discord mod. So this is super ugly now and I don't want to regrow it from here. So I have a feeling I could probably like chop this off, take it off. Oh, I can see an activated growth point right here. There's a leaf popping out. I could probably chop it back up, and there's probably some live roots in there in that moss, and just restart it, and then I can have this like self-watering pot for an anthurium. So that's what I'm going to do off camera. I can never keep these floors tidy for more than like 24 hours. So it's not fully sorted yet because I had to combine some like not ready for sale plants with ready for sale plants in this little box right here. But this one is all ready for sale. 2 full bins. So this is like a work in progress. I honestly don't know if we're gonna get to filling this up today, because if we did, this will be like a 4-hour video. But I'm so happy with this progress right here and getting rid of some plants on this windowsill, which by the way, this balcony is the most useless balcony ever. Like, Am I gonna crawl out of that window to like enjoy that tiny little balcony? I don't think so. This Dracaena marginata I'm not getting rid of because I love marginata and it was a gift from Charmaine. It has googly eyes and a little pipe cleaner mouth. I just need some love. You can see all those crispy tips were from when it dried out like severely over the summer. When I went away, just like it got very dry, and if you know Dracaena, it takes quite a lot to get it to look that sad. So I need to give it some TLC. And my Raven ZZ, I freaking love ZZ, so that's definitely staying, but it does need a repot. So I do have some space on that windowsill for nice plants. I don't know if I'll utilize that space or just keep it nice and tidy and kind of like clear of stuff. So that's my corner progress for the day. Since we're apparently filming tomorrow again, which I wasn't planning to do, but I probably have time for when we do our rescheduled FaceTime call, I am going to do my last thing on my checklist before I go make dinner, which is I need to clean the glass on my Exos. Because like I said, I had another like 32 watt bar that I swapped out. So the shorter one was here. Now I replaced it with a tall one. And now it's shining more light on the Exo. I could see all the drips and streaks and stuff. And it's bothering me. So let's clean that before we finish off. Do you remember this little magnificum thing that I repotted on camera where the leaves were really warped and it was in pond and it kept drying out and it was really sad? And it grew this leaf after getting repot into tree fern soil and it was like really cute and happy and kind of had that furry venation. Look at this new leaf. Is this not just perfection? It kind of reminds me a little bit like the shape-wise with the jowls on the bottom, kind of like a Carla. If you change the color of the leaf from that like kind of brownish green to like that black Carla Blackie color, like I might be fooled thinking that was a Carla. Look how beautiful it is. This leaf is just pure perfection. Oh my gosh, can't stop staring at it. I'm so glad that I took the time to make it happy because I truly wasn't expecting this plant to be as magnificent as it actually is, because like it was labeled as a mag. So I thought it was like a mag, but it's not really like a regular magnificum. We made good progress today. I'm quite happy. I would like to do more cleaning. I want to run through this place with a vacuum, but I'm feeling way better about this than before. And like I said, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now. Now I just can't wait for Friday to come and get these things out. And the donations people actually told me that they had to reschedule the donation pickup for Friday as well. So Friday is a big day. Friday is a day to get a lot of things decluttered and purged out of my house. So it's gonna be a good week. I'm gonna go cuddle with Doug for a little bit and I'm gonna make dinner. For dinner tonight, we're having spice bags. And if you don't know what spice bags is, look it up. I've never had an authentic spice bag because I've never been to Ireland, but as soon as I heard about it, I was like, that sounds perfect. That's my kind of food. So I'm gonna go make spice bags and cuddle Doug because he's been such a good boy today. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Good work, everyone. Hi. There's a dog.
Because he hears Albert.
Oh, I thought that was at Amanda's house.
Like blurry in the background. It's like you're on like portrait. You're filming this right now?
Yeah, you're.
Oh, I thought you were gonna try to fill the screen. That's what.
Oh no.
No.
I just want the audio close enough to the camera.
I'm filming.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted you guys to say hi to week of, and then I'm going to stop filming.
Oh, okay.
This is Amanda. Hi.
Your hair looks so good. It's short.
I know. I love your curly hair. It's so cute.
It's kind of straight today.
No, it's so curly.
Yeah.
Curly
Okay,
hair.
I'm gonna cut my tree.
Oh, shit. She's going to cut her tree. Okay.
The iPad is so weird the way it follows you.
Oh, that's weird. I thought Michael was recording.
Oh yeah, you did that earlier, right? Or remember we FaceTime last time? You're like, is your iPad following you?
Yeah. I was like, are you on a gimbal or something?
Oh my gosh, she's chopping the tree. She's chopping
It's
the tree.
huge.
Wait, what happened? Okay. I can't see my screen. Or wait, let me see.
With the kitty. Oh my god.
Okay, you
look at
guys
that.
gotta see the tree that she's chopping.
Okay. So can you see the curvies?
Oh no, it's... There we go.
That's insane.
She's got a little curve.
She's chopping this elbow finally.
Let's just do it here.
It's humongous.
You need like a chef's knife.
Oh my god.
This is my lost hole.
Me.
She's pretty big.
Holy crap.
Got what I needed. I'm gonna put my headphones in.
Yeah, this is, now what do I do?
It's the suede that makes it grow, right? Not like just regular string. It has to be suede string.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
My cats are like looking at it like, I think I should probably cut it again because, yeah. I know, I can't believe how big it got.
They're huge.
It's gorgeous. Holy crap.
Crap. That's gonna be Alice in 2 years.
No, not in this
Her elbow.
lifetime. Not in this lifetime.
What is she gonna put that in?
I'm putting it in what? Can you see it? I don't know if you can.
But how are you gonna fit the aerial roots in there?
Yeah.
Probably like how I cut all the rest of these. They were literally all like engulfing the pot and wrapped around, and it was like terrifying. So I just cut them all.
Holy heck.
So we're gonna say goodbye to this sleeve.
No. So painful.
Oh, it's so painful.
Oh, it's so painful. It hurts. But yeah, that's gonna be way easier.
The sound that made.
I sometimes find if I don't cut them, like if I put them in water and they're too long, I've had issues with them rotting before.
I've had the same issue too.
I've never seen aerial roots cluster like that.
Calloused.
She's not doing it.
Yeah.
She'll never do it.
You know what? I don't callus anymore because
I saw that their video.
yeah, Lauren doesn't callus, so then I was able to like get over my fear by using her plants as non-callusing experiments. I'm like, oh, it's fine. So I don't callus.
I'm not that confident. Holy crap.
Wish her
Good
luck.
luck.
Good luck, baby.
This
So
will probably be,
pretty.
this is gonna be my centerpiece now, maybe for the next. We'll see how much it. Oh no, this is too big.
Who needs to eat when you can just use it as a plant table?
I can't handle these big things anymore. Like this thing has gotten huge. This was from Home Depot,
Wow.
and it has this like, what is that? Green on green? I don't know.
Oh
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's very, very, very subtle.
How cute.
This is my other little Home Depot find.
I was like, a luxuriance?
The one, remember when I was telling you guys about? Remember when I was telling you guys about how like I had that one that had really thick leaves?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and like
Shape
yeah,
reminded me
the
of like a Syrian or whatever it's called.
it's really really deep.
It's still deep.
It's so slow. You're deep. Are you ready to see something disturbing?
Okay.
Always.
Where's the pot for that?
Oh my god, it's making me turn. Where is it going? Oh my god.
Oh.
It's being held up by a crystal. I just need to cut it, and I'm just like, I've needed to cut it for literally, I mean, look at this thing. It's disgusting.
Do it now.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Do it now.
Oh, this is so good that we're doing this call. It's making me do the things that I've needed to do for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Just chop everything.
I hope you cannot see my face right now.
This is like a Polish hot dog. So long. How are you gonna propagate that thing?
I don't know, because you just made me cut it, and now I don't know.
What if
Shit. Well,
what if you start over from a baby gloriosum?
that looks like a problem.
Wait, I feel like you can. What did you have to do?
What if you just pot it straight into pond?
I mean, this is like the worst plant to propagate, honestly.
I know, it really is.
I mean, I'm going to have to. I mean, this is just like a repeat of what Alice just did.
Yeah, it took like 3 weeks and it's rooted now, so I just chopped it.
I have to, there's gonna be sticky stuff everywhere.
Oh my word. God, those leaves are massive. They're like lily pads.
Oh.
I know, they really are. And then just put the turd in water. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Okay,
wait,
what's
keep,
going on?
wait, don't cut it. Oh, okay.
There it goes. Bye-bye. We're like, excuse me.
You guys, my cat is looking at it like, what?
What is that thing?
I think maybe hopefully we can just fit it in with the elbow.
I mean, that's a thick stem.
I know, I'm like...
You need like head shears. How the hell did you do that? Freaking one-handed.
You guys want to see my my blurple tent?
Yes.
You have a blurple tent?
It looks so blurple right now. Like,
Yes,
when you
I
send me
know.
photos, it doesn't look like that.
Well, these two lights, these two shelves, and these two in here are. I used to have them on there, and they were. I had like one yellow, one pink, blurple,
Oh my
but
God.
so it balanced itself out. But then I put them all together just over here because I didn't want to see them, you know. Because like Alice, I think I was talking to you about when I'm on the couch or when we're over here, like I can just see the white here. And that's fine, but like I don't want to see the blurple, but they work for growing, obviously. Like,
Are they the Barina ones?
I think so.
Are they? Oh, they looked like a
Yeah.
panel for a second.
Oh, these are under here. This is a panel, like,
Oh, okay.
and these are Manoy, I think. These are newer. I think they used to just have yellow ones.
Those look super white.
Yeah, they're my favorite by far.
Amanda, I want to ask you about this plant. One second, I'm gonna put you down. What is this, Amanda?
I'm starting to sweat.
Because you're running around.
This Magnificum? Is there a story here? It's so freaking pretty.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is that?
Wait, how do I
That
make
doesn't
myself
look
smaller?
like a mat.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that's what I was wondering what you were talking about when you were like, we have to talk about
Yeah.
the ace box and the mag that you
Cause
sent me, you know?
okay, so remember one of the first boxes you sent? There was me and Charmaine got them mixed up. There was a Crystal X Lobes and a Magnificum, and then we swapped the
I know,
tags.
And that's the Magnificum, and that's why I sent it to you, because it's not just like a standard Magnificum. And when I saw that leaf in your video and you were talking about how you, because it was just so sad and deformed looking, I
Yeah.
was like, how did you not throw that plant away yet? and then you potted it up, and
Yeah.
it was like what I wanted you to see.
Look at this, so
Yeah.
pretty. What the heck?
So
I know, it's Gorgina.
I will show you. I used to have a huge Magnificum, and it's obviously I think it was a hybrid, but I selfed it, and all of them came out looking so different, and that's why I'm pretty sure it's a hybrid. So some of them that I cut up a while ago are coming back. So it's gonna be hard to tell the blurple lights, but like here's one.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
this is a seed batch of yours or a
Yes,
cutting?
yes. This is
Oh,
another one. These are
it's
stumps
so
that are-
cool.
They're so cute.
These are just stumps that are growing back from that batch.
Are they as black as they're showing up?
Oh, the
Yeah, it
leaves?
looks dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me. Well, you can't tell with the blurple light. So they're not like, I mean, oh yeah, they actually are pretty dark. And just the venation is so cool. They all turned out so different. Like this one is like, yeah,
So
they just are,
round.
and like
That
the
one is
Oh,
pretty.
so
This one is-
pretty.
This one's so odd. Like the venation is very
Spidery.
mutant. It's like a mutant, yeah, like
Yeah.
the top.
Well, that call lasted 2.5 hours. I stopped filming partway through just because like we started talking about personal stuff and it just wasn't suitable for this video, but It was just really nice to catch up with them both at the same time. Not Charmaine, I talk to her every day, but nice to get us all in the same room and like look at Amanda's plants together. And usually like me and Amanda talk separately, me and Charmaine talk separately, Charmaine and Amanda talk separately. We also have like a group chat, but it just feels a little bit more disjointed. So I definitely want to keep this up like once a month. While we were talking on that call, I was showing Amanda some new growth on some plants. So I thought maybe I would show you too. I wanted to show her like some new leaves on plants specifically that I got from her. So this is the BVEP that I got quite recently. It's looking almost black on this viewfinder, but it actually is like really reddy brown. Maybe it'll look different once I upload this onto my computer, but it's so freaking perfect. This is the one that's a cutting offer one that she got from Paul, Understory Oasis. Is there any way for me to show that color? Not really. Dang it. I think it's because the light behind me are so bright, but this leaf is coming out so perfectly and it seems really happy in this tree fern mix. The other BVEP that I got from her, this is a self or maybe like a BVEP cross from Grant. This little round puffy guy with the cute little jowls. It also popped a new leaf there. Okay, so this is one of my big success stories this month. This is my Ace of Spades that I got from her, and if you've been watching my videos for the last, I don't know, year, or how long has it been since I had this plant? Okay, so maybe in the last 6 months, every leaf that it put out, it was roughly the same size. I'm trying not to show you the newest leaf, so it'd be like this size. This is the second newest leaf on the plant. And then I got it into this bigger pot in tree fern soil because previously it was just growing in tree fern. Look at that size jump. I cannot believe that jump. See that to that. Compare this leaf to my hand and this leaf. I'm so pleased with this. I cannot even tell you. We were talking a little bit about ace pox just because Amanda, in the community, there's like a lot of rumors going around that like she's like the one to talk to. But in reality, she doesn't really super care about ace pox that much because she knows that to cure it requires a lot of work, and she just like doesn't see herself committing that much, like so diligently to like treat it with antifungal stuff. But she does believe that it is fungal, and she does believe that it's systemic to the plant because it doesn't transfer to other plants. So she'll have an ace leaf that's like covered in like the freckly ace pox like symptoms, and it'll be full on touching, like in full facial contact with another leaf on another plant, and it doesn't transfer. She has noticed that like if she leaves that ugly leaf on, so like let's say for example, if this was the fungal thing, I don't think that this is showing like what ace pox does, because ace pox is a lot more like round dots all over the leaf. But let's say for example this is ace pox, she would leave it on the plant and not cut the leaf off, and that she finds prolongs the newer leaves being unscathed. So she was showing us her mother plant where it has like 2 beautiful leaves. The newest leaf is fully hardened, but it doesn't have any sign of ace pox on it. The next lower down is starting to show some on the back side of the leaf, but you can't really see it from the front. And then the one like oldest leaf on the very back has some starting at the top, but she says if she cuts that leaf off, it will start showing on the newer leaves quicker. So that's her way of like, her lazy way, I guess, of combating ace pox. But she was telling us that like it may be possible to use systemic fungicide because she thinks that it's like inside the plant and it just is a symptom that shows from within the plant, but it doesn't transfer to other plants. She's thinking that systemic fungicide can help with that, and possibly like if you're diligent enough and you're not letting up on the treatments, over time it might go away and never come back. A few videos ago I showed you guys my Magnificum cross with Canaya lens from Amanda as well. I got it from a little cup. It was one of those like little round ones that I have, into a slightly bigger cup, but from tree fern into tree fern soil. So it wasn't a huge size up in the pot size, but the slightly different substrate. And the 3 leaves, maybe I've grown 4 or 5 leaves, but the last 3 leaves on the plant were this size, like that. Look how big the new leaf is, and it's so freaking pretty. When I showed you guys this on what was it? It was like growth updates video, or like when I was talking about tree fern soil, that video. I said it was gonna be a bigger leaf because like the petiole had gotten quite tall. It was really hard to tell by the size of the emergent leaf just because it was so curled up and tiny. I was not expecting it to get this big. It's just, this leaf makes me so happy. Oh, another leaf that's been just, oh, I've been loving so much lately. This is not from Amanda, this is from Tropicals. This is what they originally sold as Ace Forgetii, but it's probably not Ace Forgetii. Look at that new leaf. It is just so incredibly pretty. The leaf prior to that was this one, which is about the same as the other ones. And then I got it into tree fern soil, bigger pot. So it was also in one of these like, these little round guys. It's a good amount bigger, and tree fern soil versus just straight tree fern. And that size jump is just everything. It's such a pretty color. In person, it's like green, but with a very brownish tone. Hopefully it's showing up on camera. And that little splash of silver at the sinus, I was saying it looks like a unibrow, like old man with like white eyebrows, and it's like a little tuft of unibrow hair in the middle. It's so cute. I can't stop staring at this plant. It is like facing forward at the top of my tent, and like every day I'm just peeking through that window just staring at this leaf, because I wasn't expecting this leaf to get this big either. I thought it was going to be something like this, and I think as leaves harden, depending on the plant, it can have these like size jumps partway through. It's not like a linear like speed that they expand at, if that makes sense. So I was talking to my friend Ashley about this. We were talking about Ace of Spades and how like she was saying how fast those leaves expand, but in my experience, Ace of Spades, they're really slow to expand at the beginning when the leaf first emerges, but then like when it gets a certain size, it starts expanding super quickly. So that's kind of like what happened to this plant, because it was kind of like staying around this size for quite a while and starting to turn green. So I was like, oh, it's probably almost done, but look how floppy it still is. It still has quite a ways to go. Sorry, my phone's going off. Hopefully I got in that footage while we were on the call about her Magnificum, because her little seedlings, I didn't know that that was like a selfed plant. I knew it wasn't like a pure Magnificum, but I think that's what it was sold to her as, so that's what she's been calling it. But it's got such cool genetics, so I would be really interested in selfing that plant to see what other like weird veiny mutations happen, because like the seedlings that she was showing us in that call were so pretty, and they were really dark, and the veins just look quite different. Like I showed you my plant, I find the veins like look like fuzzy, like they have little furs on the end of them, and I don't have anything quite like that in my collection. So it was nice to get some more information, because honestly, when you're talking about stuff over text, it's really hard to stay on topic, because you send one voice note and then they respond to your voice note, but they don't address everything, you know what I mean? Like it gets a little bit disconnected, so it's much nicer on a FaceTime call. But anyway, I am going to end this video here. Just to quickly wrap up, like I say in every video where I declutter, the decluttering doesn't end here. It's the work in progress, especially that corner that I fixed up, because right now what I put into it is like all my water propping plants, some rehabs, and some plants that need a bit of rooting before it can be sold, or it's like leafless and it needs to put out a leaf. So what I'm thinking is that corner is just going to be like a constant revolving door of props, but it's really nice to have like an enclosed area that's kind of out of sight, where I can rehab plants and root and sell plants that have more ideal light, high humidity, where it's like enclosed and away from pests. Although right now my pests are pretty good. I haven't seen spider mites in quite a long time. The beneficial mites actually have been a really big godsend. I just feel like the room has opened up a lot more. I don't know why, because like there's more light in that corner, and those like plants that I was gonna like take back down to nodes, like the Jose Bono, the Angry Gloriosum, I chopped those into nodes, put them in little propagation, like I put like tree fern in a container and just pop the chunks in. I just would rather nurture baby philodendrons at this point for the vast majority of my plants. But yeah, this week has been absolutely dreamy in terms of like what I was able to accomplish. I feel really good about myself. I don't know what it is about this like cleaning energy, because I woke up this morning and I just deep cleaned my kitchen, like my stove, and I got all the elements off and like Dawn power washed it, got all the char and gunk off of it. I don't know where this energy is coming from, but I am not complaining because I am feeling really good about everything, and every day I'm just looking for more things to clean, organize, reset, get rid of. And on our call, I feel like that was quite fitting to this video because Amanda was getting to plant chores like she's been putting out for so long. You guys didn't see this, but she had a huge gloriosum that had crawled out of the pot and it was growing these massive leaves like basically on her floor. So she chopped that up as well. Her elbow, she's been putting off for like more than a year. Maybe it's the time of year, I don't know. But I can tell you, if you're putting something off, just bear with it while it gets really messy and it gets really like you just want to quit halfway through. Once you get over that hump when things are starting to get a little bit organized again, that's the home stretch. You're almost there. It's just the last mile, and when it's done, you will feel so good about it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me for these last 3 days of plant chores. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.